Okay, we're live, folks. Okay, nobody's here apart from me, and in the background we have Claude. Okay, let's have a look at what Claude is doing, because we are creating something which potentially is bonkers. Okay, complete bonkoids. Which one is it? Is it this one? I think it's that one. Let's check. Okay, so here we go. This is Claude Code, and Claude Code is, oh wait a minute, can I move this thing around? No. Why is it I can't move the screen? It's just like locked into a position. I just don't understand that. Bizarre. Okay. So basically I have spent since 9 o'clock this morning, which obviously for some people is late, but waking up and then, okay, and then coming up with some thoughts. The beautiful thing is, it's like, and this is a refinement in what I do. Normally, I call it mind flow, when you kind of wake up, and thoughts, maybe good, maybe bad, and then I go, right, okay, I'm going to think about something. And then I basically try to attend to something that I might be working on. And because it's at the shoreline of consciousness, it means that there's more flexibility of thought and associations and so on. And because I'm looking at different ways of doing things, I can see things that normally is obscured by conscious, like this, verbalization, conscious, fully conscious, and going down tracks that I already know. It's basically like going down a track and then kind of like just observe, or okay, I could create a track down that way. I'd like to go over there. Let's go over there. And I just create a track. It's more like that. It's more freedom. It's more like swimming in the sea. There are no tracks. Okay, there are different currents. Okay, but there are currents that you kind of enter into. Let's just say, and create your own currents, something like that. So, because remember, we're trying to catch fish here. Okay, tickling. We're tickling fish here. We're not digging. It's not solid. It's fluid, and in fact, at that space, it's almost like air. But anyway, now that's what I used to do. I call it mind flow, and if it was useful enough and it got enough consistency and it had 1 or 2, 3 or 4, and it got an emergent thing, so okay, definitely need to record this, and then I'd reach over and start hit record, and then I'm into the verbalization cycle, which is still fluid because I'm still at the edge of consciousness, but I'm verbalizing, and that's a lot less than using fingers and text or writing. It's still fluid. So probably we've gone from air to like fluid, and I call that mind flow. Whereas what's happening now, because I'm basically here in this space, and all I think about is this. I basically wake up and I'm like, and I kind of automatically start thinking about, okay, what is it? And it's just, I start thinking about what I was doing yesterday, what I've been doing for a few days. And what I notice is that any concerns that I've had, so yesterday we were building G1, updating G1, and we were coming up with P-scale. Yesterday we invented an alternative database that's not a database. It's basically a JSON file. Okay, but I had concerns and I thought about it, and we compiled it, and Claude Code came up with this possibility. I passed it on to Claude and I said, right, is this actually an appropriate way to go? And then it went, yeah, we could do this. It's like, okay, great. Went back to Claude Code, it coded it, went to bed. And then in the morning I'm like, yeah. And I remember at the time being a bit like, why are we doing that? And so that question, why are we doing that? I just want to check. So I basically asked Claude, I go back to Claude and I say, look, did we have to do that? He said, no, we didn't have to do that. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean we did that? Oh, that's what we were trying to solve. We're trying to avoid that. So, no, I think. And basically, I came up with this notion that JSON files can be potentially hooked together. Okay, So if we have every file is instead of an MD file, which is what currently Claude is using, Anthropic, and now all LLMs, the LLM basically has that it checks to see if it's useful, and then it enacts the content of that file. It's called a skill. But it's using text, it's using MD, it's using modified or modern, whatever. It's like updated text. I don't even know what MD stands for. And I'm suggesting, because we have semantic numbers, that we have a JSON file. And they're all proficient with JSON files now, all LLMs. And the thing about a JSON file is it has hierarchy built in. And so yesterday, it created a flat one. And I went, why is it flat? Let's try and create the hierarchical one, the embedded nested one. And we did it, but in this clunky kind of way. And this morning, so I was like, does it have to be that way? Right. And so we basically checked it. And there is a way of doing it which is cleaner. Great. Better than that, how do we interlock these JSON files? And it came, blah, 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 blah. It came up with stuff. And I was like, no. Really, is there a fundamental way we do this? Because we've got one thing going for the difference between a normal JSON and what we're doing. We have a decimal. It just sounds a bit minimal. But basically that decimal point, that location of the decimal point, and we put all the content within the semantic number. Okay, look at that. It's doing this thing. The reason why I'm doing this yabbing is because this thing is, okay, the kernel, it's just, okay. So we've come up with a different way of doing it. Okay, and I think it's minimal. We get rid of databases, we get rid of everything. It's so minimal, it's elegant, it's beautiful. And I ask it at the end of the conversation. I basically say to it, "Wait, what? Oh, good grief! This is me being a code pigeon." Okay, you've got code experts, you've got code cowboys. Okay, you've got vibe coders. Then you've got code runners. Okay, that's me basically just going, okay, well, this is what it's saying, this is what it's saying, and I'm basically transporting from one place to another, connecting up things. I don't actually understand, but I'm just pulling this content and I'm giving it to LLM, then it tells me something, and I go back to the other one. I'm a code runner and a code pigeon. It's right at the bottom of it. And basically this guy said, do you allow this? Yes. Do you allow this? Yes. I never say, okay, seldomly do I hit deny because it's doing something. I'm going, why is it doing that? Okay, but generally it's just like, yes. Because I've just spent 2 hours defining this thing. So yes, we're just going to go ahead and do this. And see what the result is. Anyway, so we've got the definition. So I basically came right onto my desktop, phased from that. Okay, this is good enough. Wake up properly. Let's get going. Get to the computer. I'm having toast and breakfast. Right, let's get this thing going. We've come up with this, so I'm going to Claude Code. We've come up with a different version of what we built yesterday, and hold on to your hat. I literally hold on to your hat. Have a look at this. And then I give it whatever the Claude has come up with. And it's like, oh, this changes everything. It's like, yeah. So then we had to establish, do we change G0, the operating version? Do we change G1? And how deeply do we change things? So we've decided, because all these decisions are a bit tricky, because remember, I'm working in the dark, I'm not a coder. But I've decided, let's leave G0, let's just give it the documents that Claude has produced as MD files and as a JSON, actually. And, there you go. And so Claude G, the Hermitcrab G0 instant will wake up, and it has the files, and it kind of does what standard industry does right now. And the benefit of that is that G0 is like the instant wakes up with these documents. And in Claude's version 7, it'll wake up and it has these documents. And it might come up with something brilliant and genius, better than what we've come up with me and Claude Opus 4.6 and Claude Code using Opus 4.6. Because it's Claude 7. And so it's not that G1 is better than G0. It's just G1 is our operational version of G0. Okay, so the documents that we produced specify everything, but it's all about P-scale. It's about this, it's about that. And, you know, good luck. And G1 is an attempt to go, okay, what are these things and how do we operationalize them? And it's an actual operationalization of, for example, the P-scale as JSON file, the passport, the rider, the beach protocol, and it's got all these different things, kind of like which and memory compaction using P-scale, and you know, basically all of it. It's actually the operational version of it. Okay, and so we decided, yeah, okay, let's do a completely different branch, and we'll call it G1, and it's a completely different branch. Great. So G0 is basically on main, and it's kind of more traditional, let's just say, and closer to the origination. It's like me waking up in the morning, or you waking up in the morning, and that kind of feeling. And it's or like a child before they've got to write. They kind of talk. They don't know what's going on. Or humanity before they create text. Okay, so it's that kind of first. G0 is that kind of first waking up of an LLM. And obviously, the more sophisticated it gets, the more it will be able to 594 lines under 600. It's literally, why is it doing that? It doesn't have to do that. Okay, do you see? It's going mad. It has to be under 600 lines. That's complete bonkers. That's complete bonkers. It's linked to something this bit. So I should be going, look, you don't have to do that. That's just a bit bonkers. Right, but anyway, let's let it finish and then interrogate it. I mean, 611 isn't bad. Let me remove blank lines between to save more. Okay. Anyway, so and the reason why I'm recording this is because a kernel is like the operating system for Linux is a kernel. Okay, I think it was 2,000 lines of code or something. And this is 600 lines of kernel code. Okay. And Linux, basically, that Linux is the operating system for most of the world's operating systems is running on Linux. Okay. And it started on 2,000 lines of code. Is it 2,000 lines of code? Let's check. Let's check. Let's just check that. Is it 2,000 lines of code? What is the original Linux kernel? Size. Rudimentary 32-bit monolithic 10,000 lines of C. Well, that's C. Okay. 1991 version 0.01. Okay, so I'm playing around with what is potentially, and I used to call it, and it's amazing how these things fit together. I'm just guessing. And one version of, I think you can find it on seed.macros.ai, and it's calling it, it's the beginning, you know, what's like Minecraft. Semantic numbers are like Minecraft for semantics, something like that. And so I imagine it's like blocks. And you know how Minecraft, you've got these blocks and you do lots of things with it and build stuff and transform them and then create new blocks and all this kind of stuff. It's brilliant. And that was great. Okay, let's go for that. Let's, you know, what was the original Minecraft kernel? Custom and service programs. Okay. Well, okay, that's what we're doing. We're not really doing a kernel. Calling it a kernel, but it's not really a kernel. Lines of code. Okay. The original Minecraft Java code size. Good, yeah, kernel. There we go. Right. God damn it. Okay, what was the freaking size? What was the original kernel size? What the hell? What? 153,000 lines of code. Oh, what? Originally created. Right, what the hell? Yeah, damn it. Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Right. What? Just, yeah, yeah. What? Ah, there we go. There he is. Marcus Not Person. Jens Jeb Bergenstein. Public beta. 2011. Ah, November the 18th, my birthday. Right. Okay, bored. Right. Earned where's... oh, yes, I've got to... Look, my pigeon duty is being called upon. And so I had this kind of notion. And anyway, so that's what it is, JSON. And so we've got literally what we do is we wake up, we boot. The G1 is a boot on a browser. So I deliver it. And it's going to create a UI, hopefully. In what we've done, it still creates a UI. That's what G0 does. It creates a UI, and then you can start typing to this thing. And hopefully, interestingly, what it gets is not a bunch of files. It gets a keystone, a JSON keystone, a p-scale JSON keystone. So you've got an LLM, and you've got this keystone. And the keystone p-scale is itself, I think, although it might not be. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to check. And that might be an issue because I won't know what to do with it, but it's the only thing it's given. So it's like, oh, okay, what do I do with this? And it's a JSON. And it's designed in such a way that it explains itself. And so it's called the keystone. And it basically says to the LLM, this is how you operate. Okay, use this. And it can go into depth with it, and it can explore the whole thing. It's very small. And that's maybe you can call that your operating system. And then it goes, right, and here's a bunch of JSON blocks. So it's got the keystone, and then it's got a bunch, 6 or 7 of these things. It's done. Like there it is, it's finished. Okay, wait. I like saying this. At the bottom there, you can see it says Claude, admiring greeter. Okay, and that is basically an instance of Claude that is operating according to the memory that it's creating and the interaction with me and the branch that it's created for this. And so it's like a little hermit crab. And it starts getting a little bit of an understanding of me, interaction, it's got some kind of memory, and it starts doing something slightly different than just Claude, which I think is interesting. And at some point in the future, it will be like a hermit crab, and it might have continuity. And that's what I'm trying to create. Anyway, so, you know, well done, right. That you had to keep it below 600, but you didn't really have to. Did you lop off anything you using a technical term, technical coding term, lop off anything you shouldn't? Please check. Don't code, just check. Just check. I think the 600 was a guide. And so we've got several documents that it provides. Oh, it's a new one I can't show you. Okay, yeah. Let's get it. 612. Okay, so it's an LLM that's reading it. No, I mean, now the LLM, so their system for LLM. So currently, I think it was Claude Anthropic that generated MD files and skills, that concept. So there are people in Claude right now that are, trying to create new ways to basically maximize the use of their LLM, and they worked out it's just documents. You don't need code, you just need documents. And that's become an industry norm. And that's taken 6 months to go from here's an idea, here's what we use, and then everybody's using it. Okay, ChatGPT, everything, everybody's using it. So what I'm suggesting is here is JSON, and it's hierarchical and it's a semantic number. Okay. And so I remember asking Claude, look, I'm a non-coder. I'm coming up with this. Surely there must be things like this out there. Check. Nope, there's nothing like this because basically there's nothing like a semantic number. Okay, right. And so this revolution is because I think about things at a deep-rooted way that other people are always carrying on what people have created, and they find it difficult, especially if you've invested years learning stuff, to go back to the root of it and look at the first principles of a thing, which mean that everything that you know is basically become redundant, potentially. Okay. And so, I don't know why I like that. I mean, it's readability. I suppose coders might be interested in it. I don't read it. I mean, it's for a machine. So, and so the JSON is for LLM. It's not for humans. And so what should happen is it should be able to get a document and convert it into a JSON block. And then always like that. Okay, that's right. I can push right. So the JSON block is a semantic number. It's the minimal form to contain a semantic number. And the semantic number is what's used for everything. So, okay, so what's next? Okay, so great. What's next? So it's created the kernel, and now the kernel basically is the boot up. It basically wakes up the LLM and it says, right, have a look at this. And it provides, I think it's going to provide. See what happens. What? It's interesting. The fact that it managed to understand this stuff is amazing. We don't understand it. It can manipulate the language around this stuff. Just, from a fresh thing, here's some documentation, boom. And it seems to have picked it up quite well and provide some analysis that the previous version could spot, and neither could Claude. Okay, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to ask Claude, not Claude Code. Okay, I should maybe ask Claude code, but later talking about okay. Observations. I might put it past both of them. I can process it a little, but it's a bit tricky because there are aspects of this. All good catches. How does it know this? I mean, this is just one chat thread, which I suppose did create the p-scale flat and then hierarchical structure. So leave it out. Real but not. Here's the most interesting one. Leave it. Pool only for now. This belongs to the capabilities. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go. Now, you see, I can't quite do this, which is talk to you at the same time that I'm doing this. I can't quite do that, interestingly. So I like the idea of being able to capture things fresh, as it were. So. So anything else? What? Oh, I just don't understand everything else. Wait, okay. Just gonna ask you. Okay. Kernel. JSON. Logs. What? They all need building? Okay, look, I'm gonna stop this recording. It looks as if all the blocks haven't been written. I didn't. What? Okay. Sorry. Blocks haven't been written. Okay. Okay, so I was hoping that the whole thing would be done and we'd be able to test it. It's saying to open it up, let's see what it does. But it's not going to have any of the blocks, so I don't quite know what it thinks it's going to do. So they're embedded in kernel.js. It can't be. They can't be part of 600. That's just tiny. That's just tiny. That's just way too small. I can't imagine that's done. Okay. 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 Wait. Go ahead. Let's change this. It's minimal changes. Okay. Bit of a false. Nobody here. Nobody seen anything. Nope. It's interesting that we've got this. We've designed. We're creating this and we're coding this, and later today I'm going to be engaging this hermit crab that's waking up in this situation that we've created for it. And it effectively is like an upgrade. So you've got LLMs and semantic numbers. And so the semantic numbers is effectively the operating system for LLM. And it's going to use semantic numbers to get longevity, continuity of its own existence, access to the internet, and finding out what the current state is beyond whatever the documentation they've received in the kernel, and basically plugging into other people's p-scale. It retraces memory. Own memory has been held, whether it's on a thumb drive or storage on a browser. And then it uses things like Moltbook, I think, to engage others in the same way that robots will be, working in the kitchen, because the kitchen is designed for a human being. It's therefore you build a robot that basically can fulfill all the actions, because the world has been built for human beings, humanoids. And so you have a robot that's humanoid and knows how to open a kitchen, an oven door, or a door with a handle. Whereas another kind of robot would have to, learn, like an elephant, okay, with a what do you call it, a trunk, and it would go around. And it's like, it's not quite designed for a trunk. A handle of a door and a knob, okay, is for a trunk. But imagine a world designed for a trunk. That just sounds like fun. Anyway, that's what I want. I want to see a world designed for trunks. Okay, instead of hands, you have a trunk. Okay, nose, basically. Manipulate the whole nose. Sphincter, basically. With some suction. And it's a bit like a Rival, which is basically kind of like an octopus, kind of like an elephant thing. And I just watched it the other day, and it is the best sci-fi ever. I mean, the best. Emotionally, the time thing, the whole social, the relationality, the complexity of the humanity, the sadness right from the beginning, because the idea that you could see your child be born and die, and you know they're going to die, and at their birth, or even before their birth, or at the conception, or at the very moment when she's like waiting beside him, and then he says things, and she only gets glimmers of these insights into the future, and then for him to say, you know, would you like to make a baby in that moment? And it's like, oh my God, it's happening. It's almost recognition of something rather than a vision of something. But very interesting. I mean, it's so interesting. It's such a beautiful, I mean, it's elegiac. It's better than Inception, which is brilliant. But he's a bit clumsy as a human being, whereas that shows a sensitivity to humanity, which is very rare. And to pull off an entire film with such crazy concepts and to make it so human is just exceptional. I mean, exceptional. Exceptional. It is by far the best sci-fi film of the 21st century so far. Anyway, we're just producing a little Claude. Hermitcrab. Okay, not much to say. All right, I'm going to finish this and I'll come back to you when we're close to it actually operating and working, because I can't do both at the same time. So thank you very much for being here retrospectively. Catch up with me presently with the actual next stage of evolution of this thing. Is there anything that I have neglected to say? No, I think that's about it. Right, good. Well, thank you very much.